the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, the capital of Benue State in Nigeria. I am the shepherd of one of the 4 dioceses, Catholic dioceses in Benue. We have others, Anglican, Methodist, and Pentecostals, which certainly Benue State has a population of about 6.1 million people, 2 million of whom are those under my care as the bishop of the diocese. Benue State is about 98% Christian, with very few Muslims living in towns. Nigeria and eventually my diocese and the state of Benue have become, in recent years, one of the most dangerous and insecure places for Christians. Christians and Muslims are nearly evenly divided among Nigeria's large population of over 200 million persons. Islamist extremists are fiercely contesting the possession, control, and governing law of the land, especially in the country's northern and central regions, the latter of which is where Benue is located. There are constant ethnic, political, and religious conflicts over land and allegiance. Constitutionally, we are a secular country, but our unity has been fragile. Political and religious actions and even public speech have been carefully managed to avoid accusations of religious bias and political tensions. Today, the clear influence of Islamist extremists has changed the traditional social dynamics of tribe, ethnicity, religion, and the social status in Nigeria. Because just recently, at the beginning of the Ramadan fast, 12 states in northern Nigeria have declared closed schools so that they attend to this. And you can imagine, which other country in the world does that? Saudi Arabia is not doing it. Afghanistan is not doing it. Baghdad is not doing it. But then Nigeria is practicing. What kind of Islam are they practicing? 12 states. And not only Muslims are living in these places. What happens with the educational program or curriculum of the country? But this is what we are going through every day in Nigeria. A long-term Islamic agenda to homogenize the population has been implemented over several presidencies through a strategy to reduce and eventually eliminate the Christian identity of half of the population. This strategy includes both violent and non-violent actions, such as the exclusion of Christians from positions of power and adoption of such church members, the raping of women, the killing and exploitation of Christians, the destruction of churches and farmlands of Christian farmers, followed by the occupation of such lands by the Fulani herders, and also changing the names of these villages. They are taking over the places, so you clearly see an expansionist approach and Islamic, and then they are making the people now flee and leave their villages, and they conquer it. The quest to Islamalize the land appears high on the agenda of some of the powerful and influential Muslims in Nigeria. There is a campaign to take land to spread Islam, and there is the hemorrhaging of Christian farmers from the central region of Nigeria and Benue State, and Makurdi Diocese in particular, as they are forced to abandon fertile lands that used to feed the nation, which classify Benue as the food basket of the nation. Militant Fulani herdsmen are terrorists destroying society. They steal and vandalize, they kill and boast about it. They kidnap and rape, and they enjoy total impunity from the elected authorities. None of them have been arrested and brought to justice. This is supported by the corrupt system in which we operate and the abject poverty among us, which allow the criminals to easily attract more recruits and prey on more victims. Why is this happening? Is it really a religious war? Like in the past, many jihadists are motivated less by religion than by spoils of war and use their religion to impose themselves. In my diocese, the spoils consist mainly of fertile, well-tended land organized around my parishes or so. The jihadists come and adopt and kill the priests, leaving thousands without support and basic human services. And of course, when they disperse the people, the inhabitants, or the citizens, or the people of the lands, they take over. And any attempt to go back and take care of your farms, surely you get killed. The Makurdi Diocese in Benue State has been the epicenter of the invasion by these herders, who are more like hired guns of cattle oligarchies, who manipulate religion to rally the herders to eliminate the Christian population and cleanse the land in the name of Islam. This objective is behind the relentless attacks against Benue's villages. When we call for help to the police and the army, they do not come. At the end of 2024, several villages were warned by the attackers of the upcoming violence, and the leaders called the police for defense ahead of time. But they did not come, and the Christian massacres, almost customary, took place, killing hundreds in Plateau and Benue, with the worst massacre claiming 47 people. The Militant also burned down the 8 Catholic churches of St. Mary's Parish in the Diocese of Boko, which in Benue State, as well as the parish house, clinics, schools, and other houses. The militant Fulani herdsmen bear on defenseless villagers without consequences. They follow orders to conquer, kill, and occupy. They attack even those who have managed to escape into our IDP camps. Thereby, they have no place to run to. And it is unfortunate that the police system in Nigeria, orders have to come from above, and such the ones there's a call, and they say they have never responded. And by the time they arrive, these people have left, and the people are now living in the pool of their blood. What I have recounted above is happening not only in Benue State. I believe our experience in Benue is symptomatic of what is happening elsewhere in large parts of Nigeria. The experience of the Nigerian Christians today can be summed up as that of a church under Islamist extermination. It is frightening to live there. Apart from the violent campaigns and attacks against Christian villages, there are now attempts by the Islamic Council of Nigeria and various Islamic groups to impose Sharia law on the Christian populations. Already, 12 states in the north of Nigeria are under this sectarian religious law, and attempts to extend the same to the south of Nigeria, which they have started. This month, governors in the north decided appropriately to close all schools and education institutions during the months of Ramadan, leaving millions of students without learning opportunity for 5 weeks. We live in fear because at any point it can be our turn to be killed, but to remain silent is to die twice. So, I have chosen to speak. I speak on behalf of the millions who are in the camps. In Benue State, in Makurdi Diocese alone, in my diocese, I have about 9 camps. 9. On the 5th of March, which was Ash Wednesday, we visited one of the camps, and many of my priests and religious went to the other camps, distributed them to begin the Ash Wednesday with our faithful who are there, because we are the voice of the voiceless. We have to talk for the defenseless. We have to talk about the weak and those who cannot talk about themselves. In one of the camps called the Mega Camp, there were over 3,000 inmates of that camp, and which was a record given to us by government. I speak on behalf of them and those children who have no husband, who have no father, and even their own voices taken away by the politicians who promised to help them but have become the willing tools of the jihadists because they are talking politically correct statements, looking for next elections to come. I speak on behalf of those whose loved ones have been killed, but no one has even offered a word of consolation to them. I speak on behalf of the thousands of young girls who have been adopted and raped because no one, not even the media, mentions them anymore. Foremost, I speak on behalf of my flock who are unable to worship freely and unable to return to their ancestral farms and homes because that land has been ruthlessly taken from them by the armed herdsmen. And where they say they want to live in peace with the natives, if you must farm, you have to pay tax to hire the land which belongs to you. That is slavery, to say the least about it. As prosperous Nigeria is in the African continent, and I tell you, if there's outbreak of war in Nigeria, no country around us, Chad, Niger, Ghana, Guinea, Togo, no country can contain the population that will flee to these places. No country can be able to house over 5 million refugees. It's not possible because of that. And if 1 million refugees run to Chad and Niger, they'll collapse that country because there'll be no plan to take care of them. So we have to be very careful. Today, I urge you all to use every means within your mandate to start developing a strong and good relationship with Nigeria, where you know that when you speak of human dignity, you are also speaking of the same God-given right you believe is unalienable. consider that Nigeria can be your ally, but it cannot be one where half the population is in the process of being murderously eliminated. Work with us, the churches, and other Nigerians of goodwill. We are working for a peaceful and prosperous society, and our desperate plight has been set aside U.S. policy for too long, to the cost of thousands of lives. Concretely, I request and I plead, I ask you to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. This has both a practical and diplomatic meaning to signal that you are paying attention to what happens to us and elsewhere in the world. Because the policies the government is trying to put in place, so that to return the IDPs, build camps for them, relocate them from their homes, it is not durable and it will not work, because the government has already the population that is not able to take care of, and then you have over millions of people in the camps, and you want to relocate them to where? And if you do, let's take that you do, how many houses or rooms will you give me who has 5 children, another one has 3, another one has 2, and what will I be doing for a living? These people previously never begged anybody for food. They were managing their lives, training their children, and building their homes. So nobody should have deceived us on the guys that you're going to resettle the IDPs. They have no jobs. So where you set them, what will be their place? And by the way, the fundamental question remains, if you resettle them to other camps or build places for them, what happens with the ancestral lands? Who takes care of them? And this is whereby I feel the government is complicit on this issue. Because these terrorists, Fulanis, displace them, kill people, and then occupy the place, and then change names, nomenclatures of these towns. For what reason? So we want to let the people go back to their homes and help for them to rebuild their lives. I implore this august body to insist on the return and rehabilitation of all the IDPs to their ancestral lands, and not to relocate them to other constructed camps elsewhere, which is an invented solution now being pushed in the Benue state government. And I tell you, Nigeria government can do that once they have to be accountable, because I know Nigeria, under the auspices of ECOMOG, was able to reinstate constitutional government in Sierra Leone and Liberia, and they can do that now. We have the capacity, but because the leaders that are not prepared. And I think that's whereby, look, it's not just conspiracy of silence, it is aiding, abetting, and supporting these terrorists to keep doing their work. This is my plea. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, hello. Good day, sir.
As someone from Plateau,
yes,
as part of the areas where religious extremists,
yes,
where all these Fulani militia,
yes,
kill Christians,
yes,
we understand that the American Congress have come out to clarify that yes, Christians in Nigeria are the target,
yes,
of extremists,
yes,
though the government of Nigeria have denied it.
Yes.
But as someone from that region, how do you feel seeing that America is coming to say this?
Thank you very much. You see, there is no fire without a smoke. So everything you see, there must have to be a place in particular which it began. So for our people here, with how they are facing the Boko Haram, how they are facing the militia, and those militants, I will just define them as terrorists. Because these men, they will come, they will never protect any life. They will kill the life of innocent citizens, and which we all know is wrong. That is why you see, for so many decades, everywhere is quiet, nobody is talking. But God, He saws all of those wicked.
But do you think American government is correct in their position that Christians are the target of these extremists?
Thank you very much. American, I can say, based according to my own understanding, based on how I understand. I really don't understand America, but based on the knowledge that God helped me to understand, is that America is a country that stands for light, nothing but light. And that light, they want to extend it to any country, any place, they will extend that light. And if they extend that light, everybody will be able to see light, and everybody will embrace light. And that light is that they have to fight the wickedness.
But the question I'm asking is it true that Christians, especially in places like Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Taraba, Benue, are the target of these extremists?
Of course. Their target is far more beyond that. Their target is that if they will wake up one night and to get the whole of the country, they will love to see that happen. But the reason why that is not going to happen is because as they are striving to do evil and wickedness, people are sleeping, but God is watching. God is watching, and that is why they are not able to achieve their dream and goal. Not that they don't have the power, but because God watched them and God laughed at them, and that is why they could not achieve what they want to achieve. So Christians are the targets. Yes, they are the target, and these people will do everything to bring them down.
So how do you people back in your state in Plateau often survive, seeing that you are always at the siege of these
Thank you very much. Surviving. That is a
militias?
serious question. Survive. You see, surviving. If God did not protect your life, I'm telling you, no one will protect your life. And the people there, our surviving is that we will wake up, we will say, oh God, save us, protect us from the enemies, because they are all around us. They are looking at us with the eyes, with the wicked eyes, seeking for a way to destroy us. But because of the prayer which we pray, we now submit ourselves in the bosom of the Father. Then the wicked, they will see us. Then they'll be looking at us with the eyes that is very bad, bad. But because we submit ourselves to God, and God is protecting us through the chaos, through all the enemies. That is how we survive. That is how we survive.
Because actually, one Catholic Reverend Father from Benue, Alfred, have come out to clarify that in the Benue, for instance, that you have about 70 or even 80% Christians, and that the activities of these extremists is very high.
Thank you very much. You see, you need to take a note of a person who has an intention of evil. A person that has an intention of evil, you know, his intention is to destroy, to destroy all of these communities. That is the one-man intention, to destroy all the communities. But you see, the truth, it begins with you and with me. And the truth means that if we stand for truth, then we will be able to push back the forces of the enemies. Like those people that are seeking to kill us, will begin to push back the forces of the enemies. By the time we resist them, by the time we prove to them that they are nothing, and we know that there is something that is of higher value, which we are looking up to him. And that is why you see today, we are at least surviving. If not, their plan and their intention is to completely destroy us, and they don't want to see us to just breathe, that we are breathing. They don't want to see that. They just don't want to
let
see
me now ask this question. What is that government, federal government, have the responsibility to protect lives and property?
Yes.
But how often do you feel the impact of government in terms of protecting lives and property?
Thank you very much. You see, government is not something that people should be taking it on serious. Government is something that people should take it very, very serious. People should take government serious, not because government is going to save them, but they should take government serious because God expects government to play a role, and in that role which they are to play, they should be just and fair. So if you look at the people that are leading us today, if you look at the kind of people that are governing us today, they don't have just, they don't have fear. Why is that so? That is so because they force themselves into corridor of power. So you don't expect a man who forced himself into corridor of power to bring milk and honey for you. That is not going to work. But when a man was chosen by people and he is in the corridor of power, you will see everything will begin to go normal. Even though there must have to be the enemies that would like to fight him.
But let me not bring this angle because the Air Force commander, American Air Force commander for Africa and Europe,
yes,
James Hecker, said the other time that they'll be targeting terrorists in Africa. As we speak, America already bombed terrorists in Somalia. We understand that in Nigeria, Fulani Militia have been named 4th most dangerous terrorist organization in the world by Global Terrorist Index. How do you feel about this position of America to target African terrorists?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is something that we really need to look into again. You see, Americans are targeting those terrorist plays. Why are they doing so? They are doing so because they know that this wickedness, they are not only in America, but they have extended their wings into different parts of the Africans, and they stay there. And all what they do is to harm the life of the innocent citizen. All what they know how to do is to rape, is to kill, is to punish, And these people are not doing it for good. They are doing it for their evil self. And that is very, very bad.
So it means America targeting them will help to reduce activities and, of course, enhance the safety of Christians in the north.
Yes, that is just what it is. And they should continue, because that is exactly what I myself, I was praying, I was looking to see. And today it happens that I am seeing it before my eyes, that the righteous are rising up above the wicked ones. So I just have to give God thanks and praise, because for almost a decade I've been praying to see this thing happen, and now it's happening. So I have to just say, God, thank you, because indeed you said in your word that the righteous will strive, that the righteous will rise above their enemies, and which right now my eyes is seeing. It's something that gives me joy.
Let me say very big thank you for your time.
You're highly welcome. Thank you very much.
Matthew, and this is Satellite Media. Thank you very much.
Thank you.